Welcome back to the CryptoLabs YouTube channel. How do you start a DeFi business? How can you leverage yield farming, liquidity pools, lending, and actually turn it into a business that cash flows you, where you can take advantage of yields on yields and the velocity of money? That's what today's video is going to be all about. Please take some notes. And by the way, this is universal. We're really talking about how do you build a business and how do you scale a business. Now, we're doing it with 0 employees and, in the realm of investing. But to me, there's really 2 main parts of what we're building here. So I'm really excited to jump into this. This is why we've been so successful in the crypto DeFi space. It's why our members keep winning. We don't have to try and time the markets, guess where the markets are going. We get paid daily. We use that as cash flow so we can further invest, create yield on yield. So I'm going to pull up my iPad in a second. First thing I want to do right before we get into it is, if you want to go beyond just this video, jump into the DeFi as a business. It is a free course, and it's probably 4 hours of material going all the way from the fundamentals and the foundations to actually finding and understanding the opportunity in front of us, to actually how to take advantage of the opportunities. In the comments, do let me know if you want access to the free course. We've had over 3,000 people join. If you're on Brave or you have a VPN or you have an ad blocker, it may not work. So you might have to try it on your phone or a different browser, but it does work. We had 3,000 plus people already join. I know there are a few individuals who are having a hard time accessing it, but our tech guys checked it. Everything works. So just let me know in the comments and I'll drop you another link. That said, let's pull up our screen here. And let's walk through this DeFi as a business. How do you turn liquidity pools and lending and yield farming into a business? So most people are doing this. They're trading their time for money, and then they're using that money to buy things, or maybe they're investing in some 401k or, 8%, 6%, 5% a year type investment, or a high interest savings account. And maybe they're turning $1 into 2 over like 10 years. And that's being pretty generous. Maybe over 12 or 15 years, they could double that dollar. What we're doing, see how we're dancing because we're happier? We're taking this dollar. So at some point, you are trading time for money. That's okay. We all do it. I do it as well. But we want to take this money and invest it into our DeFi business. It's not just investing in Bitcoin or Ethereum, or DeFi business, and turn it into more than just $2. We want to see 5Xs, 10Xs, 15Xs over 5 years. How can you double your money every year, every 6 months? And that's absolutely possible in DeFi. So every time someone buys something, sells something, swaps something, trades something, let's just say Ethereum for Bitcoin or USDC for ETH, and I'll show you an example here. If I go over to Uniswap and I want to trade 1,000 basically USDC, this is on base, for wrapped ETH, I'm going to pay this fee. Where does that fee go? Well, since we are the bank, we make that fee. Since we are the bank and we're providing liquidity, we are the middleman. There is no bank in the middle. We get paid those fees. Now, $2.50 may not seem like a lot, but there is millions of dollars being transacted every single day across multiple DEXes, which is why we talk about where's the volume. How can we jump on the DEXes where there's a lot of volumes? Which assets are hot? So we can get in the middle, provide liquidity, and get paid to the tune of 1% plus. I mean, if I look at just 2 positions I'm in here, this is on Aerodrome, which again, a lot of volume is flowing through base. I'm sitting on $400 and $200, so 4, 5, 6, maybe $650 of fees over the last, I think, 2 days, maybe 2.5 days. These are all little parts of my DeFi business. And every time someone buys Aero, or every time someone buys OVN with USD Plus, or swaps or trades, I get paid those fees. And yes, they're only being charged, 50 cents, but this is happening millions of times per day. And I get paid a part of those fees, as so do you, for providing liquidity, for building a DeFi business. So far, so good. Let me know in the comments if any questions pop up. And then what I do is I take these fees and I lend them. That's called yield on yield. Now, there's a few different strategies, and I'm not saying that this is some cookie cutter thing of this is what you always do. I'm just saying that it's a strategy that you may choose to deploy here and there. And so I can go on platforms like Aave, which I don't have much in here because I've deployed most of my stables right now when the market's pulled back. Aave, Compound, Venus on XtraFi, as you can see. Over the last few days, I've just been taking my Aero returns from my business and moving it into lending at 77%. Here I'm making 34% on my stables, looking to redeploy this in the near future. You get the point. How does this work? Well, someone borrows. So someone wants to take a loan. I can provide the capital for that, and I get paid interest. And so XtraFi has such high yields because people are taking on a loan to take on leveraged positions, and I get paid, 2 or 3 times more APY than I could on, let's just say, Aave, which is much, much simpler. If someone wants to borrow some money, they would put some collateral up and then they can borrow, and they're probably getting charged 9-10%, and I'm making 7.6%, the difference between it, et cetera, et cetera. You get the point. Here it is. So if I want to borrow something, so as you can see, USDC is 10% if I want to borrow, but I'm getting paid 7.6, 7.4% for lending it. Makes sense. It's pretty simple. It's all smart contract based, super, super simple, no middleman. Then what we're doing, and I'll pull this up again, then what we're doing is we're going to be in a ton of different positions. So I may be on Orca doing some Sol stuff. I might be on Aerodrome doing some stuff over Base. I might be on Uniswap doing some stuff on BNB. Actually, Avalanche has some great opportunities right now. Then maybe I'm lending some and I'm getting yield on that. And I'm making fees. I'm making yield. I'm making interest. Then I can move that into my bull run bag if I so choose. So here's where we go DeFi business into an investment. And so then I can take that, and I'm basically hitting 3 birds with 1 stone here. Is I'm making arrow, I'm lending that arrow, and then I'm holding that arrow for more price appreciation. Then of course I have my bull run bag, which I've shared here multiple times. It started at 80K. It's now 320, and I think it's going to be about an 800, 900, maybe $1 million bag at the end of this run. And so my DeFi business pays me every single day, as you can see, pays me every single day to the tune of a couple hundred to 1,000 plus some days, depending what the markets are doing. Then I take that, I buy undervalued assets so I can ride the price appreciation of it and then exit in profit, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. That's fundamentally what a DeFi business is. Now, yield farming, people think yield farming is just liquidity pools. It's not. You're farming for not the highest yields because you don't want to chase the highest yields, but you're searching for different yield farming opportunities. And we like to position ourselves where the volume is flowing so we can earn high fees, turn those fees into assets we want to hold long-term, rinse and repeat. And as different narratives shift and as different things shift in the markets, we just get ahead of it. So we're always earning, we're doing 1 to 2% per day in some farms right now, which is wild. Even in just these, this is 1% per day, and this is over 0.5% per day. Pretty wild. If you think about that, 10 days of being in this is what most investors get in a year investing in just traditional investments. Plus, OVN, I think like 6x in price. Just these 2 positions, we started with 5K, we exited with 32K. We were able to take that initial out, reinvest it in somewhere else, velocity of money, and we earned more than most people would dream of making in 6, 7, 8 years in traditional finance. We did in 2 months. It's wild, but you've got to have a strategy. You can't just buy meme coins and hope that they moon and think that you're going to become a millionaire, because it's a very slight possibility of that happening. I'm more like slow and steady. So final phase of this is we buy undervalued assets. Again, not recommending any of these. These were just graphics that were available. And we're looking to turn, let's just say $1,000 into 10K by buying undervalued assets that have fundamental value. They're actually solving a problem. And we hold, and then we have something called laddering out, which is in the free course as well, by the way, which you should grab by now. Let me know in the comments, where we take profit on the way up, move that profit. So usually I move it back into lending. And then when the markets pull back, we redeploy, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. And you can turn a very small amount into massive amounts. I see it happen every single day with our members. I've seen it happen with me. I've seen it happen with people I've helped. It's not rocket science. We just have to invest, not gamble. So most people are gambling and they're wondering why they're not making money, yet they're calling themselves investors. They're just lying to themselves. You want to be an investor and stay away from gambling. Follow a system, rinse and repeat. I know what I mentioned sounds pretty boring to most people. but I want to make $1 million tomorrow. Well, that's a really good way of thinking of losing all your capital. Really, really hope that helps. Please, please, please grab the free course. Spend an hour or two going through this. If you already have, all good. Jump on this YouTube channel, spend a couple hours, dive into these videos, like this video, subscribe to the channel, all that fun stuff. And what I'll do is I'll leave a few videos up here and here and here and here that go further into what we've been talking about here. So do check them out. With that said, I'm going to get out of here. Appreciate you. Hope this helped. Peace.